Okay guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. Alam nyo, mula nung dumating tayo sa buwan ng Abril, sabi ko sa sarili ko, ito talaga yung aabangan kong issue. I know, marami kasi talagang nag-aabang sa programang ito na sinabi ni Immigration Minister Lina Diab a while back, magkakaroon daw ng detalye kung paano mangyayari itong inaabangan na temporary resident to permanent resident program, TR to PR program. According to the IRCC, this will be implemented over 2 years, 2026 to 2027. At meron daw as many as 33,000 temporary residents ang inaasahang makinabang dito. Meron pong ilang mga immigration practitioners no ang nagsasabi, ano ba talaga? Magkakaroon pa ba ng programa, a stand-alone program na TR to PR program? Or nangyayari na ba siya, no? Baka meron nag-umpisa na talagang mag-draw para rito. Kasi kung babalikan natin, no, para sa mga suki natin dito, you know this, nung tinanong dati si Immigration Minister tungkol dito, ang sabi niya, it's already ongoing. It's already ongoing, pero magkakaroon daw ng detalye sa April. So maraming nagtaka doon sa sinabi niya na yun. Ang intindi ng ilan o ang haka-haka ng ilan, baka yun na yung paliwanag kung bakit earlier this year, nung nag-umpisa ang 2026, bulto-bulto yung mga dinudraw sa iba't ibang mga PR programs. May 4,000, 8,000. Some are saying it's unusually big, no? Parang wow, baka daw yun na yun. So baka unti-unti nang nababawasan yung 33,000. No? Pero kung papakinggan po natin itong interview niya, let me put this up. This interview was posted not even 24 hours ago as of recording natin. Ano? Later on, you will hear that it looks like there really will be a separate program. Okay, with guidelines to be announced. Okay, so this interview is from the YouTube channel I'm Canada. Nakita niyo yung logo niya, no? Medyo left side. I'm Canada. So if you wanna check out the full interview, you can. Ang dami pong tinanong sa kanya na iba't ibang mga issue. But for our episode, we will only be tackling what she said about the TR to PR program. Okay? O, bibitinin ko lang kayo ng slide. Meron po kasi siyang mensahe para sa mga temporary residents na pumunta dito, nangangarap, maging PR. Yun nga lang, palabo ng palabo ang kanilang kumbaga pagkamit dito sa mailap na PR sa mga panahon ngayon. Tinanong siya, no, what's your message for those na parang shattered na yung dreams nila na manarahan dito sa Canada? Sige, bago natin puntahan yung sa TR to PR program, ano?
However, a lot of immigrants who came here with dreams, those dreams are being shattered. Do you have a message for these people, what they should be doing in order to remain in Canada and continue building their life here?
I want anybody that is in Canada now to know that our government has the best interest of all Canadians first and foremost. We also want to protect the people that are coming to Canada using our immigration pathways, whether it's provincial pathways, federal pathways, correctly. We want to also ensure that they are protected as well, so that they are here for the reasons that they say they're here, and that if they wish to make Canada their home, that they apply through the pathways that we have available for them.
Okay. Apply sa existing pathways available, yan ang sabi niya. No? And she also made it clear, ang priority first and foremost are Canadians. Okay, but at the same time, they want to protect the welfare of those who are coming here. At ang sabi niya, no, they want to make sure that those coming here are really here for the reasons they say they are. Ang basa ko dyan, parang sinasabi niya talagang they are watching out for those engaged in fraud. No? Okay, eto na, puntahan na po natin ang kanyang sinabi tungkol sa TR to PR program. Kasi nga supposedly, no, this month daw yan, lalabas yung detalye niyan. Wala pa ring specifics. Sige, pe-play ko na muna to.
Minister, what is the rationale behind TR to PR, and what can people expect to see the program be?
Excellent question. We know we have a lot of people in Canada that are currently working that are here on temporary status. The rationale for that is to bring those people that already are living in Canada. They have housing, so they're not taking homes away from people. They've built connections and they have a job and they're paying taxes. They're contributing to the economy to just bring them quicker into permanent residency. The other good news is when I met with the provinces and territory ministers responsible for immigration across the country, the good news is many of them are bringing a lot of the people that are already in their respective jurisdictions that are here on temporary status that are working into permanent residency through their provincial nominee programs. And in here, for example, through the Atlantic Immigration. And that is good news because they are already in the communities.
Okay, hindi niya masyado sinagot, ano? Last part ng tanong ng host, what can we expect the program to be? So she just gave an explanation kung ano yung intention ng programa. Buti na lang, hindi bumigay itong host. He asked a follow-up question to insist on the details of the program.
Minister, what do you expect the requirements be?
You're going to hear a lot more on that in the next coming weeks. We know what the numbers are because, again, we tabled that in Parliament. So everybody knows that it's 33,000 over a 2-year period, 2026 and 2027. The idea would be to select people that are not in the major city centers. So it wouldn't be, for example, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, that kind of thing. IRCC, when that comes out, IRCC does not pick what is called the CMAs, metropolitan areas. Those are picked by other other departments, other whatever, but we use their census data. We use that to inform, where we choose. So it wouldn't be in those census metropolitan areas. It would also be people that are working and that have been working, for some time, probably, close to a 2-year period that they have already built connections and are working and already are in the country.
And are you looking to make it sector specific, or it would be just any Canadian work experience?
That will come out very, very, very soon in terms of the 100% specifically of the criteria. But generally speaking, I think that's what we're looking at.
Just the Canadian work experience.
So they would be, that's right. Well, that's the most important thing, that these are individuals that are already in Canada, that they have already built connections and are working
in rural communities.
And again, the classification of rural would be based on the central metropolitan area definition.
Minister, Ukraine.
Okay, that's it. Sa totoo lang, yan na yung buong discussion tungkol sa TR to PR. Okay, nag-move on na dito si host sa ibang topic. Let me make sure of that.
Ukrainians. There has been a petition that was signed by 47,000.
Tungkol sa Ukrainians na ito. All right. So, himayin natin yung sinabi. Una, I took down notes, more details to come, okay, in the coming weeks. So, aabot kaya ng April? We don't know. Or next month na ito? Posible. More details daw in the coming weeks. Pangalawa, hindi daw sila mag-draw from major cities. Something that is a bit expected. Kasi na-highlight sa mga dating sinasabi tungkol dito sa TR2PR program is they will focus on rural areas, right? So, nabanggit niya, not in major cities like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. Meron din siyang sinabi, it wouldn't be in the CMAs, yung tinatawag na census metropolitan areas. Let me rewind a little para marinig niyo yung sinasabi ko tungkol dun sa CMAs.
The idea would be to select people that are not in the major city centers. So it wouldn't be, for example, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, that kind of thing. IRCC, when that comes out, IRCC does not pick what is called the CMAs, metropolitan areas. Those are picked by other other departments, other whatever, but we use their census data. We use that to inform, where we choose. So it wouldn't be in those census metropolitan areas.
It wouldn't be in those census metropolitan areas. Siguro kasi these CMAs, tingnan mo, may tanggalin ko tong headline, these CMAs are also considered somewhat urban centers na rin kasi, Tingnan yung definition na nalagay dito sa episode. CMA is a Statistics Canada defined region consisting of one or more adjacent municipalities centered around a large urban core. Okay? Meron pa siyang isang soundbite, sinabi niya, pagde-define doon sa rural towns would be dependent on the CMAs. Ibig sabihin, it will likely be outside these CMAs. In a while, babasahin ko sa inyo ano ba itong mga CMAs na to. Pero ito yung sinabi niya, para lang clear sa atin, ha?
country.
And are you looking to make it sector specific, or it would be just any Canadian work experience?
That will come out very, very, very ready, built connections, and are working.
In rural communities.
And again, the classification of rural would be based on the central metropolitan area definition.
Okay. Classification of rural areas will depend dun sa classification ng CMAs. Ano ba itong mga CMAs na ito? Madalas natin ma-encounter itong CMAs sa tuwing inaabangan natin yung high wage, low wage, yung pag-issue ng LAMIA, no? Okay, kasi by CMAs po yan. Puntahan natin itong tab na yan, official from canada.ca. Ito po ang listahan ng mga CMAs. So, I would assume, based po doon sa sinasabi ni Immigration Minister Leyna Diab, maaring hindi po masyado mag-draw dito sa mga areas na ito. If you disagree dun sa interpretation ko, guys, feel free to comment down there para magkaroon tayo ng insightful discussion about this. So, examples of census metropolitan areas. Ito yan, okay, nakita nyo yung first column. St. John's sa Newfoundland and Labrador, Halifax, Moncton, St. John, Fredericton, Saguenay, is that how you pronounce it? And so on and so forth. Napakahaba po ng listahan na yan. Ang sabi niya kanina, yung quote niya, it wouldn't be in these areas.
So it wouldn't be in those census metropolitan areas.
Okay. Magbabago ba yan? Perhaps, could be. I mean, until the actual criteria comes out, hindi pa final lahat ng ito. But that's another clear thing, magkakaroon talaga ng specific criteria. Kasi nung tinanong siya, if it will be sector specific, okay, I think the host was trying to ask about what certain jobs would benefit from this. Ang sabi niya yun, more details will come out soon, referring dun sa criteria. She used the term criteria. Okay? Isa pang binanggit niya, ayun, obviously, kailangan nagkatrabaho dito sa Canada. And have been working close to 2 years, period. Meron siyang nabanggit na ganun.
Yes, would also be people that are working and that have been working, for some time, probably, close to a 2-year period that they have already built connections and are working and already are in the country.
And are you
Okay. Baka merong specified length of Canadian work experience na kasama dun sa ilalabas na criteria. So yan lang po ang meron tayo ngayon. At least merong paramdam, hindi niya nakalimutan itong inaabangan na TR to PR program. Ito na naman tayo, abang-abang pa rin. Sabi niya, in the coming weeks, more details will come out about this program. Siguro guys, it's also just right to emphasize na kung babalikan yung immigration levels plan, kung saan nandun sa dokumentong yan, yung TR to PR program, sinabi doon na ang target din kunin dito ay yung mga nasa high-skilled, in-demand sectors. Okay? So, that is what we have for now. I promise, as soon as meron na yan, okay, we will have an episode on it. Okay, so I'll end this episode here. See you guys in the next one. Bye!